Look, this, as I said, I can't emphasize enough, this is a procedural vote. A lot of members know that. Everybody should know that. Some members, on principle, say that they can vote, even though it's a procedural vote, because the Republican Senate number is just so far off from our number that we sent from the House. So, I mean, just for a basis, the House instructions say that we have to cut at least $1.5 trillion in mandatory spending over the next 10 years. The Senate says only $4 billion. You know, we're way off on that. But again, it's procedural. What we actually do in the reconciliation process is we have to stand up as a House and make sure that we get the budget cuts we need, because we know that our $36 trillion debt is going to be rolling into much larger numbers and unsustainable and catastrophic for this country if we don't stop that now and start putting spending cuts in here, along with getting the growth that we need. And again, this is not a final budget by the Senate Republicans. It's a starting point where now we get into negotiations. I do think, though, that time is of the essence right now. While we've got not a lot of time and not a lot of votes, we really need to get this done. President Trump has got a very, very aggressive agenda for cutting taxes, making those Trump tax cuts permanent. They gave, all that tax relief to small businesses, especially lower and middle income taxpayers, particularly in my district. We saw the economic growth, and it's been sustaining us through the pandemic and through the excessive spending through the Biden administration. So it's absolutely imperative that we get that passed, or we're going to face a $4 trillion tax increase to the very people who are going to create the jobs and keep the jobs that we have. We also have to make sure that we cut spending. That's part of what the DOGE project is. We also have to unleash American energy and invest in growth areas like data centers and AI and things that are going to make us more efficient, bring our jobs back from overseas, which is why you see President Trump kind of tinkering with the tariffs today. He gave another 90-day pause, which you saw the market skyrocket. One of the biggest days we've had on Wall Street in a long time because of the relief on the tariffs at the moment. So a lot going on, and we just have to get this done. The tax cuts are so important to the economic growth that we need in order to cut our debt and deficit, in order to get the growth we need. And remember something, John and Amanda, right now we are getting the highest revenues in the history of this country because of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act signed into law by President Trump in 2017 that are expiring. So we need to continue that growth. We need to continue to make sure that we give tax cuts to the people who are producing the jobs, the people who are making all the goods and services that we have here in this country. And that's why it's so critical that we get this done.